football.
Leave it all out there. Leave it all out here on the ground tonight.
It's Tennessee.
And Vanderbilt.
Get him. SEC football.
Lincoln Financial Sports.
For 16 Commodore seniors, this will be their last walk inside Vanderbilt Stadium as Vanderbilt puts a cap on the 2006 season with their nemesis. Some 3 hours away in Knoxville, the Tennessee Volunteers make the trip to the Music City. It's our all-tell game of the week, featuring the 7-3 Volunteers, ranked number 22 in America, and the 4-7 Commodores. And hello, everybody. I am Dave Neal, and welcome to Nashville. The Tennessee Volunteers, with 2 games remaining, already 2 games better than they were a year ago. 7 wins on the season. Now they're trying to just position themselves for the best possible bowl game. Meanwhile, the Vanderbilt Commodores are trying to do something they haven't done in over 30 years, and that is have back-to-back 5-win seasons. Last year, they made their 5th win against the Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville. It was the Jay Cutler and Earl Bennett show. And now the Tennessee Volunteers, it's hard to believe I'm saying this, have a little redemption on their mind against the Vanderbilt Commodores. That win snapped a 22-game Volunteer winning streak. And Dave Rowe, as we broke this game down, there are 2 very special players on the field today, and they're both wide receivers, Robert Meacham and Earl Bennett. Doesn't get much better than that.
Well, Dave, these are not just the 2 best receivers in the SEC. These are the 2 of the best in the nation. For Tennessee, Robert Meacham brings speed. His offense is actually designed to find him, and they have for over 1,000 yards this season. I haven't seen anybody cover him man-on-man yet and be successful. And for Vanderbilt, it's Earl Bennett. He's got good speed, but what he brings is the ability to get open. He finds the seam, he catches everything they throw at him, and let me tell you, everybody tries to scheme a defense to stop Earl Bennett. Nobody's been successful.
Now, let's take a look at our Toyota keys to the game.
Well, first of all, for Tennessee, ain't you glad he's back? And I know the Vol Nation is happy to see Eric Ainge back. Before he was injured, they were 7-1, Dave. Tennessee needs his completions and over 2,200 yards throwing to win games. Welcome back, Eric Ainge. But for the Vanderbilt Commodores, it's red zone problems.
All right, big fella, we'll see what'll happen today. Number 22, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. And the 3rd member of our team, as always, down on the sidelines. His name's Dave Baker. Let's join him now. Buzz.
Hey, guys, good seeing you again this week. Let's talk about Eric Ainge. You've heard the old $6 million man thing. We can rebuild him. We can make him better. That's what David Cutcliffe did this year. He said we started at ground zero. He said Ainge sees things oh so well, but you know what? He doesn't understand what he's seeing. So they talked about defense in the offseason. Ainge wanted to talk about plays, but Cutcliffe wanted to make sure he understood what he was seeing. He's worked on mechanics. He's worked on finishing, but the thing we'll be watching today is that ankle. It's heavily taped. He's got some different shoes on because they're the most comfortable. Cutcliffe said he took every snap this week, but he's only 1 play away from coming back out, Dave.
Here's Yancey on the kickoff. He's out to the 28-yard line, and that is where Tennessee will begin with the first possession today. Take a look at our Chevy starting lineups. Jason Swain in his career, we tell you about Meacham all the time, but watch out for Swain, 111 career receptions. Also, this Tennessee team likes to go with a quasi-2 tight end with Chris Brown and Brad Cotton. Brown more of a fullback type tight end, if you will. Aaron Sears came in, preseason All-American, has lived up to that billing. This offensive line, though, trying to gain a little respect the final 2 games. Rushing offense has been subpar for Tennessee this season. First handoff off the left side. It's Monterio Hardesty. He breaks 1 tackle out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. Marcus Buggs brings him down. Defensively for the Commodores, this is a group that until that leg injury the last 3 weeks, but has been gutting it out. Here's a catch. Robert Meacham. He's inside Vanderbilt territory, out at the 44-yard line. Ryan Hamilton, the safety, runs him out of bounds. But that'll be a gain of 20.
Cutcliffe and company brought in Eli Manning, and the excitement and the winning was back for Ole Miss football. But after number 10 went on to the New York Giants, things began to sour. Inconsistency and an almost unbelievable streak of injuries convinced Ole Miss officials that a change was needed, and in December 2004, David Cutcliffe was a man without a team. But instead of following the advice of others who'd been in this spot to take things slowly, Cutcliffe wanted to prove people wrong. So he said yes when Charlie Weiss asked Cut to be the new quarterback's coach at Notre Dame. It set in motion a series of events that only the strongest family could survive.
I started having what I'd call real chest pains. But, you know, you don't want to admit that. You just took a job.
He just didn't look right to me. And I think that was the beginning of me feeling like something might be wrong.
Major blockages forced doctors to perform triple bypass surgery, and David Cutcliffe's game plan changed dramatically. He resigned at Notre Dame, and the family moved back to Knoxville so the healing could begin.
Well, what a gift. You're talking about blessed. I mean, you know, the ability to take a year's sabbatical and spend time with your family. Chris played on the state championship baseball team. I would have never seen that. Seeing Katie as a teenager, I realized, you know, how difficult it was to deal with being teenagers. And then, you know, just the time to teach Emily how to ride a bike and do those things, and see Marcus and Chris graduate, and you know, we really are blessed.
While the good memories far outweigh the bad in Oxford, the family has grown since the Cutcliffes were last in K-Town. Brother Chris and sisters Katie and Emily have been joined by Marcus, one of the family, and now one of the Vols football managers.
Well, Marcus and Chris met first day at school that we were in Oxford. They were in 6th grade. And they took off and they became the best of friends. And I became close with Marcus's mom. And right when they started high school, Marcus's mom passed away. He had always been around us, been a part of, you know, our family. Started living with us and just became a part of our permanent part of our family.
He brings a lot to the table. He carries his weight around here. He does his jobs too. He has to work, and he's certainly been a positive impact on our family.
And he fits right in, straight in. Like, you know, he's no different than any of the rest of us. He jumped right in the family. You know, he'd been my best friend since 6th grade, and he fit right in immediately.
I had some chores, you know, I had to do, and as we moved up here, me and Chris became dolly number 1 and dolly number 2. We got to pull our weight around the house, you know. I get treated equal, so, I mean, I'm loving it. I'm truly blessed and in a good situation.
So Karen is back near her family. The kids are doing great, and David's health has never been better. In some ways, it's like they never left. Well, I'm telling you, folks, just good people. That's all you can say about the Cutcliffes. And David Cutcliffe has had an incredible effect. You see the difference in the numbers there for Eric Ainge. When we were talking with David the other day, he talked about just going back to ground zero with Eric Ainge and really rebuilding him as a quarterback. And he said he wanted to talk about offense and everything, but the first thing that they did was they just sat down for a long time, all the quarterbacks over the summer, and just talked about reading defenses. And it is a blueprint that has worked for David Cutcliffe when he has worked with Peyton Manning, with Eli Manning, and so many others, and it has meant a big year for Eric Ainge. You take away those injuries, he has been a different quarterback, and the proof is in the pudding in terms of his numbers and what he's done for the Tennessee Volunteers. The Vols getting ready to take the field here in Nashville on Senior Day as Vanderbilt wraps up the 2006 season and says so long to its seniors. We're coming up at the bottom of the hour. Dave Rowe and Dave Neal coming up with all the action in just a minute. And when we come right back, David Cutcliffe's not the only guy that's had to beat the odds. There's a Vanderbilt receiver who's doing great things after making an incredible comeback. His story is next.
Bothered by a leg injury the last 3 weeks, but has been gutting it out. Here's a catch. Robert Meacham. He's inside Vanderbilt territory, out at the 44-yard line. Ryan Hamilton, the safety, runs him out of bounds. But that'll be a gain of 20 on the play.
Boy, what a great block by Aaron Sears, that big offensive tackle, number 76. Look at him, he's going out. See him going out to the right there? Now he gets out there, look at this block. You're a cornerback, you're coming up. You're Caldwell. Man, I can tell you, there's Sears coming out. Look at Caldwell coming up there. He's giving away about 130 pounds. Great block, good hustle by the big lineman.
That play has been very successful since the opening contest against California. Here's Swain. He breaks a couple of tackles. He's down to the 35-yard line. Kevin Joyce with the stop. It seems to be it's quite apparent what's going to happen offensively here until Vanderbilt can stop it. Get it to the wide receivers and let them make a play. There's Bobby Johnson, the 55 25-year-old Clemson graduate back in 1973. An opportunity to win and just haven't been able to close the deal. Handoff left side goes to Hardesty. Got maybe a half a yard. Kevin Joyce led the way. Philip Fulmer on the other side, the Tennessee grad back in 1972, the ninth winningest coach in the history of SEC football with 135 wins. Now in his 15th year at the helm, says this has been one of his most, if not enjoyable seasons, the way his club has responded to last year's disappointing 5-6 campaign.
Absolutely, Dave, and we see the Tennessee, the assistant coaches up there, they call down exactly what they see. One calls out the down and distance situation, one calls out the called out play, one calls out the defense.
Handoff near side, nowhere to run.
Well, that line.
Second down, and we'll call it 8. Nickel package. 5 wide receiver set. Ainge out of the shotgun. Pass is caught by Lucas Taylor. That's shy of the 25-yard line. That'll make it about 3rd down and 4. Ainge looked pretty good on that mobility. He had to hop around a couple times.
Exactly, Dave. I think he moved real well on that play. You know, that's the thing with quarterbacks. When you get an injury, the best thing to do is get out there and play. That first series is going to tell you whether that ankle is well. He'll hopefully, for Tennessee, he'll just forget about it and play football like he plays so far this year.
First 3rd down situation in the game, 3rd and 5, Tennessee this year. Pretty good on 3rd downs, 50%. That is second best in the SEC. Ainge has time, fires. Some contact, they'll say it's incomplete. Ryan Hamilton on the coverage of Robert Meacham.
On there.
Very tricky wind down here right now, Dave. It's kind of swirling, going almost from the press box side straight across to the other side of the field.
James Wilhoit will attempt a 43-yarder from the right hash. Kick is up. Looks good. Got the distance. And he sneaks it inside that left upright. So Tennessee with a solid opening drive. They will score first here in Nashville. 11:56 to go, opening quarter. Vols 3, Vandy nothing. In Music City, USA, as it's senior day here in Nashville. Look at Tennessee scoring drive. They went 45 yards in 3 minutes. 43-yard Wilhoit field goal. That kickoff sails through the end zone. And Vanderbilt will bring it out to the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at our Firehouse subs. Home field advantage today, and no surprise, achieved that feat. Been a great year in the league. I mean, it's over half the games have been decided by 10 points or less. As you look at Chris Nixon, he's one of the reasons why the season has been so good. He's having a great year in his first season as a starter. Wrapping that up, the redshirt sophomore. First handoff goes to Earl Bennett. A lot of white jerseys, no gain on the play, led by Robert Ayers and Marvin Mitchell. Take a look at our Chevy starting lineup. For a guy that's been inserted, he's played a couple of spots on the offensive line. Here's Nixon. Pass picked off, then dropped at the 28. Oh my! Marlon White was the intended target, but it was Ricardo Kemp who hit him right in the numbers, big fella.
And I think Marlon White, 82, might be the reason that this is an incomplete. Watch this. See him get his hands in there, pull his hands out. He actually pulled both arms away, and watch the ball fall out. See if we can see right in there. See him get those hands in there and pull that ball out. Sometimes you play offense, you got to play defense.
On 3rd down and 10, it'll be a 5-receiver set for the Vanderbilt Commodores with Nixon in the shotgun. Pressure comes. Nixon fires. It's Bennett. He'll lose a couple. Pressure came from Turk McBride, forcing Nixon to a throw he probably didn't want to have to make.
Boy, this is a dangerous throw. When your pocket collapses around you and Turk McBride gets good pressure right there in 90, he's got him. Now watch Bennett on this play. I thought there was almost a face mask right in there. Well, I didn't see it from that angle. Maybe we can see it again. But Turk McBride's got him. He just throws the ball out there. You got to be really careful about that. That can always be a problem because you have nothing on it, Dave.
Hefney back to return the punt of Brett Upson, averaging just shy of 38 yards a kick. This is a high kick that'll sail to the 39-yard line. Hefney dancing around. And dropped after about a 2-yard gain.
On the return. Brought down to number 48, Curtis Gatewood.
Well, today's All-Tell Trivia Challenge question is, can you name the last time Vanderbilt beat Tennessee in Nashville? Can you come up with that year?
It's a little tricky question.
We'll ponder that for a while, and we'll come back and give you the answer in the second half. There's Bobby Johnson, whose team this year, they've lost to Bama by 3, Arkansas by 2, Ole Miss by 7, Florida by 6. 4 losses by 7 points or less. Ainge will throw, going deep, down the near side, overthrows his intended target. Brett Smith, the senior out of Warren, Arkansas, covered by Jared Fagan.
Well, actually, that is a good pattern, Dave. That loosens up those corners a little bit. They've got to play a little bit deeper, knowing that any time this Tennessee team can go deep, whether it's Brett Smith or Meacham, they've got that speed on the outside. If they get in that one-on-one situation, very, very difficult to cover.
Ainge this year has been very solid, completing 66% of his passes. Career best 333 yards through the air versus Air Force. And off to Montario Hardesty. Maybe 3 on the play.
Brought down by number 24.
I was watching the line this time. This is good line play. Good solid up front. Slide to the ball. Number 24, that's Bugs. He comes in and makes the tackle from the weak side. You've got to hold up there, and what you've got to do is be able to shed those blocks, move over. That's going to be a huge task today for Vanderbilt. Get off those blocks, move to the football.
Marcus Bugs with 47 stops this year, just a junior. He'll be around next year. He's had a solid season playing next to Goff. And time again, pass caught over the middle. It's Robert Meacham, first down Tennessee at the 39 of the Commodores. Ryan Hamilton with the tackle, a pickup of 15.
Boy, and the first thing you have to credit on this Tennessee team is this offensive line. They pick up pressure from the outside. They slide, see the pressure coming from back over in there. They pick it up, and they give Ainge just time to stand back there and look. You give him time like that, he's going to find and pick you. Now, this is zone picking up here. You see the safety coming up. That's Hamilton, number 2. Zone underneath throws. And Ainge has got them all day if he wants them so far.
Yeah, the time has been plentiful and bountiful if you're Eric Ainge. Here comes some pressure. Langford is picked up, and he will run near side. Looking pretty good on that ankle.
Eric Ainge on the carry.
I'll give him a gain of 1 on the play.
Boy, there was some great pressure that time.
Only given up 12 sacks this year. That's the second best number in the SEC, but yet they've only run for 106 yards a game. Pass is caught. Big collision at the 29-yard line. Brett Smith on the reception, a gain of 9. That'll be close to a first down.
Well, one of the things you talked about was the time on this pass. This is a timing pass. You drive them off now. You come underneath. Again, coming underneath on the coverage. The corner's sitting back too far. Safety doesn't come over quick enough to get him. That pass is open all day. Now, you have problems like that when you're a corner because you're given too much cushion. You're worried about that man-on-man situation and worried about getting beaten deep.
Smith had a couple of touchdowns last week against his home state school, the Razorbacks. Here's Hardesty trying to get the outside. He does to the 15. That is where he will be knocked out of bounds by Rashard Langford, the sophomore out of Tanner, Alabama. But Hardesty has done it time and time again today, breaking a tackle.
Boy, you've got to break tackles, and that's the difference between winning and losing. Watch this broken tackle. He's got him in the backfield, right? Oops, no, he doesn't. All he has is just a handful of air. And then the difference is, and watch Goff. Goff is sliding along here. He gets kind of caught in the turmoil there, and he can't get to the outside. That's something that Goff does very, very well. He slides the ball. He's ahead of the runner and under control. That time he got caught up in the turmoil underneath.
Here's Coker, gets the handoff. Gets a couple on the play.
On the carry. Brought down by number 35, Brandon Bryant.
Brandon Bryant, one of those young linebackers who will get some action today, and of course plenty of it next year. This red zone powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience, and not a whole lot of opportunities for that Tennessee offense the last 2 games. Only one opportunity inside the red zone. on second down and 7. Coker stopped maybe a yard on the play. Gabe Hall and Jonathan Goff converge for that tackle.
But this is a huge down right here. For the defense, if you can hold them to a field goal try, that is the mark of success. Offense, you got to get 7 points.
Tennessee will split Brad Cottom to the near side. He's in the slot. The big tight end, 6'8", 260. They'll go that way. He's hit and drop for no gain.
Tackles.
Under attempt the field goal, number 25, James Hurley.
Wilhoit will come in after making a 43-yarder just moments ago. He'll line up on the near hash mark. This one will be from 27 yards out. Snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is even better. So James Wilhoit now 14 out of 17 on the year in field goals. Tennessee 6-0 back after a word from your local stations.
So Ray's wife is cooking things.
And Vandy will take over at the 20. Well, don't forget, in a couple of weeks, we will come to you live. We won't have a game, but we will have a show December 2nd from noon to 1 o'clock. Here's Nixon. Pass over the middle is caught. George Smith breaking a couple of tackles. He's to the 45 and out of bounds at midfield. And that's
He waited till he cleared. He waited until Smith came all the way across. Look, see 3 steps. He got a little antsy there, but he threw a strike to Smith. Then Smith breaks the tackle on Hefney. 2 tackles he broke. The only thing I wondered.
Gain of 31, and Smith is in motion. They'll hand off to Case and Jackson Garrison. He get a 3, maybe 3.5 before Xavier Mitchell makes the stop. Let's take a look at this Tennessee defense and our Chevy lineups. Mitchell with 13 quarterback hurries this year. That leads the Tennessee defense. Also 4 sacks. Turk McBride has had to go from defensive end back to his inside spot due to some injuries. Linebacker core, Terod Mayo also playing well. Hefney is 7th in the league in tackles per game at just under 8. This Tennessee team has 3 players listed in the top 10 in tackles per game. There's a big-time tackle. Marvin Mitchell. I don't think anybody touched him. He met Case and Jackson Garrison 3 yards deep.
He was in the backfield. Mitchell did a good job, got good penetration. The play was going away from him. It's misdirection. Look at him just come in there, and he's just standing in there. It's almost like he knew what the play was. You know, back to that injury that Dave Baker told us about, I wish I had $1 for every time I've seen a quarterback snap his fingers on the helmet of one of his offensive linemen. When that pocket collapses, it's real easy on your follow-through to hit those helmets. Doesn't look like it's affecting Chris Nixon, though.
On 3rd down and 11, Nixon over the middle. Pass is dropped by Marlon White, the senior out of Macon, with 24 catches on the year. We'll have to wait a moment for 25. Boy, that'll bring up a 4th down.
Boy, Marlon White knows he should have had this one. Cross the middle, crossing pattern. Watch 82 come across, and it's right there. That ball is right there in the hands. Just didn't look it all the way in. When you catch a football and you're coming across that middle, obviously you're thinking about people coming in on you and hitting you. But Marvin White just needed to pull that ball. Look it in.
Upson to punt it away. It'll hit at the 22 and die inside the 15 down at the 14-yard line. So a 34-yard kick. And we have a timeout on the field with Tennessee leading 6-0.
From Infinity.
Tennessee leading Vanderbilt 6-0. We've got 3:25, 3:24. Clock moves on the change of possession after the timeout. We go in the first quarter. Little play action from Ainge. Nice grab at the 25-yard line. That'll be close to a first down. Robert Meacham, the junior, having a great year with another outstanding catch. And this ball offense, much like Robert Meacham, having a dramatic improvement from a year ago. When you look at scoring, they're up 11 points from a year ago. Their total offense also has increased. Their passing game is just where it's gone leaps and bounds. And the one area that is somewhat perplexing is the rushing department. They've lost 12 yards, or excuse me, 22 yards in that department.
Yeah, but when you're passing at the rate that they're passing, was at 266 yards, and you see there's David Cutcliffe right there, I believe. Yes, that is David.
He's the offensive guru.
Says he wants his club to score 30 points every game. They've been pretty good at that this season. Arian Foster with the carry.
Well, now if you're Vanderbilt, what you're thinking is to get this coverage, get coverage down here, come along. This is a replay of that last play, Dave. And this is how you play. Slide them along to survive from its own 20. So now I look for Vanderbilt to maybe start bringing a little bit more pressure.
Ainge fires near side. Jason Swain. Good open field tackle by Joel Caldwell, the freshman out of Hoover, Alabama. You know, there are times this year that Vanderbilt has played 6 freshmen at the same time on the defensive side of the ball.
Now, on that play, as Caldwell did come up and make a good tackle, as you said, but gave too much on that cushion. Got to play a little tighter on that corner.
3rd down and 1. Little play action. Ainge, nice play fake. Makes the throw and catch to David Holbert, the fullback, and I don't know if he got it. Piled up in the middle. Britton Colquitt having an outstanding year. 8th in the NCAA, 1st in the SEC. 45 yards a kick. Will punt it away to DJ Moore. And it is a high, towering kick, fumbled at the 8-yard line. And then DJ Moore is just blown up. A big-time hit from Ja'Cory Williams.
I don't know how Moore held on to that ball. He fumbled it first, and rather than just fall on it, he picks it up when he turns around. You talk about smacking him. Watch this. Man. Williams just levels him. I don't know how he held on to the ball.
Boy, Vanderbilt fumbled a punt last week. That caused some problems. A 57-yard kick, by the way, by Britton Colquitt. You look at our Aaron scoreboard. Some scores around the country coming your way. And now the Tennessee, a lot of orange in the building today, as you might expect. And the shotgun, Nixon sees a little hole and will run. Dancing around, gets to the 15, gain of about 7.
Had a year running the ball, Dave.
Well, they had 621 yards of total offense last week. You see Ted Kane there leaning forward behind that rail. The offensive coordinator says, you know, between the 20s, they're great. It's just in the red zone they've had their problems the last few weeks. Facing Jackson Garrison makes a man miss on a hold coming up against Vanderbilt. Came right in the direction of center Hamilton Holiday.
Yeah, it sure did. That official saw that. It's a draw play misdirection where you come back against the grain. And evidently Holiday, in his effort to turn, looked like he grabbed him. It's a penalty that's accepted at the end of a quarter, and you can't end it on an accepted play, on an accepted penalty.
A play fake to Sean Walker. Chris Nixon trying to get out of the hole and got it back close to that 1st down. And that will be the end of the quarter. That could be about a half a yard shy of the 1st down. A quick 15 minutes. A couple of Will Hoyt field goals from 43 and 27. That's all the scoring. We'll have 2nd quarter football from Nashville after this. Football here in Nashville. And today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by Titan Technology Partners. Go to s2v.com to learn more about how Titan makes IT right. Vandy just shy of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and about a foot. And a little quarterback keeper by Nixon. His 6'1", 210-pound frame. Probably got the 1st down. Didn't need a whole lot.
Would you see him turn when he could see the big hosses coming in there on him, and he just kind of turned and crunched down in there. Well, according to the yellow line, it's correct. Yep.
So Vandy will keep the drive alive. Take a look at our Gatorade 1st quarter stats. And a ton of offense for Tennessee, 112 yards and nearly 10 minutes in time of possession.
Wow. And Ainge really on 9 of 11. That's great. Shows that ankle's not bothering him.
And Nixon stumbles and falls. Just slipped back at the 13-yard line. He saw a seam and was going to try to get what he could, but instead loses 5.
And I think this was quarterback draw all the way by Nixon, because I saw Eames 78 go way downfield. You see Ames on the right side, he's going downfield, so that's a designed quarterback draw. Ted Kane, you need a little bit of offense. There's Ted Kane, our offensive coordinator for Vanderbilt.
This Vandy team, 5th in the SEC, averaging 363 yards a game. Of course, the 621 last week will help those numbers. Here's another quarterback draw, and Tennessee read it well. Jonathan Hefney brings him down. Hefney was going nowhere.
Boy, Hefney's sitting in that safety spot in a zone, reading the quarterback, and this is another designed draw right away. Just drop back 2 steps now, pull the ball down, and all of a sudden he sees Hefney come up there, and Hefney will take you down. I mean, he's a big-time hitter up there. Strong safety, free safety position, I should say. He stuck him.
Hefney, 9 tackles against Arkansas last week, tied for the team high. 3rd down and 15. Pressure comes. Nixon hit, fires, passes caught. Holy cow, Earl Bennett. He barely got his head turned around before the ball was on him. Pressure came from Turk McBride. That'll move the chains after a 21-yard gain.
Dave, and I've been looking for Earl Bennett. I looked for him on that play, but I want to tell you, Nixon, watch this throw on Nixon. He gets stuck, and I mean, down he goes, but he throws a strike. The mechanics weren't very good. You can see he's throwing off that back foot, and I think Bennett just turned around and said, wow, there's the ball. I don't think he was the primary receiver on that play, but how about Nixon? He gets away with throwing off that back foot. He's got a strong arm.
Jackson Garrison into Tennessee territory, down to the 40-yard line before Antoine Stewart brings him down. A gain of 25 yards.
Now what happens on this play? This is called fullback sneak. I remember when Stabler used to throw this. What it is fullback sneak. What you do is you just get your fullback right in there. You see, there's your fullback right there. And you just dump it over to him. Now you let the rush come in, pick up a couple blocks downfield, but it's called fullback sneak. He just goes up in the line and gets lost.
Nixon overthrows George Smith. Chris Nixon has really had a good season. You know, it was a quarterback battle between Mackenzie Adams, Richard Kovalchuk, all the way up until about 2 weeks before the Michigan game, the season opener for Vanderbilt. And that's when they started game planning and said, we got to settle on a guy. And Nixon won the job. A lot of people talking about Kovalchuk, who transferred in, the junior out of San Diego. But it was Chris Nixon. They just couldn't deny his athletic ability.
Boy, in the last 3 games, almost 1,000 yards. Wow.
It has been impressive, and he's run during that time period as well for a ton of yards. And he's running for more here. Nixon trying to get the first down. It'll be very close. If he got it inside the 30.
Boy, they're down there arguing, Dave. They're pointing to the spot because he stepped over top. Those coaches were down there. I mean, they were in a hurry. Watch where the ball is, not where his feet are, but watch the ball. And he sees the marker right there, and watch him step right over it. There comes Mitchell coming on you. I'm going the opposite way here with Marvin Mitchell.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
But he's lucky he had the ball in his left hand as opposed to his right hand. He got an extra yard.
Exactly.
The way he was carrying it to the inside of the field. Usually you see guys carrying it to the outside hand. First down. Jackson Garrison, the single setback. Play action, pressure comes. And intercepted. Flags come down, however. Jonathan Hefney will take it out to the 45, but 2 flags come in, and that will keep the drive alive.
Boy, and I saw Marlon White go down on the play, and that's not something you usually see from a wide receiver. When he makes that break, it was a post pattern. He just went down. That's had to be where there was interference or holding or something.
I think it was a matter of feet getting caught up.
Well, the flags come down, and everybody's holding their breath here because that would give Vanderbilt another first down at the 20-yard line, if, in fact, it is interference. But Marlon White just went down like he was shot.
Holding before the interception. Number 4 on the defense. On an eligible receiver doing a legal pass. 10 yards from the previous spot. An automatic first down.
Jonathan Wade, the senior out of Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah, you see that one.
I don't know about a hold, buddy.
Well, what I saw, you see Nixon, he said flag all the way. What I thought I saw was Jonathan Wade reach up and grab that left shoulder when he went across. Those defensive corners, they'll do that to you. They're kind of a little sneaky, kind of jam you a little bit.
Marlon White looked like he got his feet tangled up as well with Wade, and I think that's what caused the actual problem. Tom Chavis can't be happy regardless. It's now first down and 10. Ball sits at the 20, so here's a red zone opportunity for this Commodore offense. Earl Bennett, one of those. Nixon. Down at the 14-yard line.
But they practiced hard on it, and I talked to Ted Kane about it. He said, we're going to try to get it in little pieces this time.
Got a couple of yards, a little piece of that. Close-eyed. Chris Nixon. Over the middle, passes, touchdown Vanderbilt, 7 yards out. It's the sophomore George Smith with his 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
Boy, and Nixon had to wait till he got up to see this. You talk about a quarterback under pressure. Nixon was under pressure on this play. Left side of your screen, watch him get level, throws it there, boom, down he goes. Just a perfect strike. Again, little seam play right there. They're playing zone. Nobody has a man. They're playing zone, trying to slide back into it, and he just threads that seam.
Going after up and good. 15 touchdown passes on the year. It looked like that Tennessee defense was keeping an eye on number 10, who split out wide, and that half-a-second delay allowed Chris Nixon to get it in there. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, on a gorgeous fall afternoon. And Vanderbilt just took a 1-point lead after a lengthy drive. 50.
And Dave, how important was it those 2 times that Vanderbilt were able to hold Tennessee to a field goal? 2 long drives, they got 6 points. Vanderbilt has 1 long drive, they get 7. They're leading 7-6.
Felt to kick it off. This kickoff will sail down to the goal line. Marcellus Johnson will take it from there, and he's met at the 20. And dropped on the spot. Well, that touchdown catch by George Smith was the 3rd this season.
Bobby Johnson says he's delighted every time he looks up and sees him out there on the field. Besides the big plays, he's just a great young man.
Nice throw and catch. Ainge hits Robert Meacham. That'll be a gain of 15 on the play.
It's like Tennessee said, hey, it worked to the other side with Sears. This time we'll use Eric Young. Same thing, leading him out into the flat.
Boy, Meacham is just, we talk about Earl Bennett, but the kind of year Meacham is putting up has just been amazing. On pace for a new UT record. Single season yardage. Averaging 105 yards a game. They'll go to him again. Why not? It seems like he catches everything that comes his way. Meacham came in with 54 catches. Brought down by Jared Fagan.
And Dave, if you're a corner, you have to respect that speed. You see the back pedal there, dropping off on the ball. That's Fagan, number 20, dropping off. It gives too much cushion. Actually, before the play, Ainge looked out at him and waved at Robert Meacham like, hey, I'm coming to you.
Look at the numbers this year. I mean, just outstanding. 9 touchdowns. And what a difference a year makes. 383 yards, 29 catches a year ago. That led the team.
Well, you think it's really incredible when you stop and look at Ainge. He's got 2,200 yards passing.
Here comes some more yardage. This time it's on the ground. LaMarcus Coker with the carry. Brought down by Ryan Hamilton. And another big chunk of yardage by the Vols. Gain of 14 on the play. Coker averaging over 6 yards a pop.
Boy, they really like Coker's speed out of the backfield. They said that when he gets to 1 foot or 2 foot going, he's at full speed. 1 or 2 steps and he's moving. Finds that hole, doesn't jump back and forth, dancing the hole, just explodes through it.
Coker missed a couple of games, played sparingly last week, had a bad knee. Here's the play action. Ainge back over the middle, pass is caught. The 25 down to the 12-yard line goes Jason Swain. Jonathan Goff finally brings him down, but not before Swain gains 29.
Well, if there was any doubt that Eric Ainge's ankle is not well, forget that. Slides out there. Now watch this good catch. Jason Swain makes a great catch here. Number one, look at this. Down low, away from him, just kind of grabs it. And how about Ainge running out there looking, and look where see where the ball is thrown. Solid hands. Clasp that ball, bring it in. But Ainge just enjoying a good day.
Here's Coker dancing around and slips down at the 8-yard line. Ryan Hamilton with the tackle, a gain of 5. That looked like that might have been a big hitter, but instead just 5. We take a look at the Red Zone, powered by Honda Generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. This year, Tennessee, they are first in Red Zone percentage going up against this Vanderbilt defense that has given up 18 touchdowns and 41 opportunities. That's a pretty good percentage defensively. They've held a lot of teams to field goals. Flags down. Here's Coker. He'll get him for the touchdown if it stands.
Usually when that flag is thrown, it's thrown along the line of scrimmage after the play. It's usually somebody lining up in the neutral zone. Both sides of the defense line up in the neutral zone. Declined. Touchdown.
Touchdown, LaMarcus Coker. 5'11", 205-pound freshman.
Boy, getting a little dip there. Get to the outside.
Second rushing touchdown of the year.
Excuse me, Dave, but just get that little jot to the outside there. Use that speed. He went inside and then bent out around the outside just to kind of bring that defensive linebackers up inside.
Tennessee responded after a 15-play drive by Vanderbilt. Tennessee just marches it right down the field. They take the league back after the point after is up and good. It is now Tennessee 13, Vanderbilt 7. We will return to Nashville after a word from your local stations. For more info, go to ikbiinc.com. Tennessee marches right down the field, 80 yards. They lead 13-7 on a 6-play drive. It only took a little over 2 minutes. Hoyt will kick it off. It is a low-line drive kick that will bounce around. Walker having trouble picking it up, and, well, he's having some issues as a lot of white jerseys finally bring him down at the 9-yard line. There's the drive, 6 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes and 19 seconds. But Vanderbilt's last possession, big fella, was a monstrous one.
It certainly was. He first found Earl Bennett. That got him out of the hole. Then he found Jackson Garrison on that little, because Tennessee just drove the length of the field and stuck him early. Quick.
First and 10. Nixon will throw. He's hit and dropped. Pass is incomplete, but he got walloped by Robert Ayers.
Well, this, I'll tell you right now, you can open up a new can of quarterbacks, because Robert Ayers just levels him. He doesn't see Robert Ayers. Robert Ayers is on his backside. This one right here, there's Robert Ayers. He's going to come inside on the outside right there, and watch him just level him right there, come around. Oh, no, there he came underneath, I should say. Excuse me. It was a twist. That was an interesting move. I looked at that wrong, Dave. What they did is they went outside, cut back underneath. Ayers came clean on the play.
Nixon makes one man miss. Now he's having to dance around, and Tennessee is all over the place. It looks like there's 15 white jerseys on the field. A loss of 4. Ryan Carl, the junior from Franklin, Tennessee, just down the road, makes the stop.
Well, one thing this Tennessee team is taught to do, John Chavis has them schooled very well, the defensive coordinator, and that is to fly to the ball. You can get blocked, and there's John Chavis. You can get blocked. There's no sin in getting blocked, but you don't stay blocked, you don't stay on the ground, and you run to the ball.
Three-man front by the Vols. Nixon will run it again. And he's just trying to get some room. A loose football. They will say Nixon was down. I think Nixon just trying to get a little room to punt it away. Turk McBride will get credit for the tackle. A good defensive stand by Vanderbilt, but a not so good effort offensively by the Commodores.
Yeah, I don't like that play selection, quarterback draw when you're down there. Yeah, he got 5 yards for the punter, but I think you go for the first down. You look back there, use that run as a last resort on 3rd and about 15 yards to go.
Hefty, one of the best punt return men in the SEC, back to return this Upson kick. It's a high but very short kick that will hit at the Vanderbilt 45 and roll out of bounds. So not much happening on that punt. Tennessee will have great field position when we come back. They lead it by 6. Tennessee will come out with a new quarterback on this series. Eric Ainge looks fine, but I think coach is trying to just get Crompton some work. So Jonathan Crompton, the freshman out of Waynesville, North Carolina, in the game, but they will snap it, throw it back to Crompton. Some razzle-dazzle. Vanderbilt all over it. The play loses about 5. They snapped it right to Lucas Taylor. Broderick Stewart with the tackle. Crompton came in the game and lined up and then split out wide.
Yeah. Watch this. Reverse, throw back. Now what they were going to do is they were going to throw it back either to the quarterback or to one of the wideouts going deep down the far sideline. When he came back around and when Crompton came around there was nobody there. Good coverage downfield. And you can see him right there. Nope, they weren't open.
So after a short stint on the bench, Ainge right back and continues to do what he did in his other possessions, and that is hit his wide receivers. Jason Swain makes the catch, hit by Joe Caldwell, a gain of 14. That'll be about a yard shy of the first down.
And Dave, this is good progression. I watched Ainge as he looked downfield, and all of a sudden this is not his primary receiver. He came off his primary receiver, looked over, and came to his secondary receiver. David Cutcliffe told us when he hits that back foot, I want his decision to be made.
Hardesty in at tailback. Holbert, the fullback, out of the eye. It's Hardesty. He loses a yard.
Absolutely.
And Tennessee will go for it on 4th down. They have the fewest 4th down attempts in the SEC this year, just 3 out of 7, 43%.
Now you got to get a rush if you're Vanderbilt.
Here's Ainge. Pressure comes. Fires sidearm. Pass is caught. Brett Smith inside the 20. Down to the 17-yard line.
Boy, and Ainge did 2 things that were really good on this play. He felt the pressure. He didn't see the pressure. He felt the pressure, and he moved to his left. Watch him when he feels the pressure from the top of the screen coming here. See there now, look, see how he's just kind of moving left? And again, just kind of sliding. That's not normal slide. That's not like a pocket rotation. That's kind of slide, feel the pressure, look downfield and find your wide out.
That makes me want to say slide, slippity slide.
That's good, I like that.
Carey gets a couple. That last throw by Ainge was nice. He was moving left, throwing back to the right, little sidearm, had enough to get on it. He's got a lot of throws in his arsenal. There's a timeout on the field. We'll return after these messages from Tennessee and Vanderbilt.
Some say we're fanatics when it comes to football. In fact, we've made quite a name for ourselves. Yet most folks don't realize how much that passion carries over into
52 seconds to go before halftime. The 4th down conversion has set Tennessee up nicely inside the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5. 5 receivers set. Meacham, the outside receiver on the near side. Ainge over the middle, passes dropped. Looking for Lucas Taylor.
Boy, Marcus Buggs made him pull that ball down quick because Buggs 24 was right on top of Ainge. He was back, and he just kind of flipped it. The 24 comes to the left side of your screen. Look at this pressure. You see that guy coming down on you. And that was still a good throw. That was a very catchable ball by Taylor.
3rd down and 5. Tennessee 1 out of 5 on 3rd downs this afternoon.
Now if you're Vandy, do you bring pressure? I think you have to bring pressure from the outside.
Here it comes. Ainge, quick hitter, passes caught at the 7. They'll say keep the clock moving where his forward progress was. Meacham makes the grab, but the clock is moving. Ainge wants a timeout.
Well, they've stopped the clock to see if he got a first down, I think, Dave.
And I think that they will say, yes, he did get a first down. They will spot it inside the 7. And now Tennessee will get their timeout. And with that timeout, we'll step aside. We'll return after this message from the Southeastern Conference.
Each and every season
as the Wildcats quarterback. We all know about Robert Meacham. He has made some heads turn on his way to breaking receiving records for the Vols. A border battle coming up Saturday, 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. Today, Kentucky hosts Louisiana Monroe at 1 o'clock Eastern. And you can log on to lfsports.com and click on the Regions Bank Road Trip Planner for the quickest routes and all the information you need traveling around the SEC. So Dave Rowe with 36 seconds left, first down and goal from the 6. Tennessee has one timeout remaining. And now Vandy will take a timeout.
That's interesting. They waited for Tennessee to come out, didn't even line them up on a play, and Bobby Johnson called timeout. So now we want to talk about it. But I know where you were leading. What do? You've got at least 3 passes into the end zone. Plus you can run it one time because you still, if you're Tennessee, you still have the one timeout.
Dave, I know you're not hungry for breakfast, but I'm wondering. Certainly a lot going on in terms of college football later on today. It'll be the showdown between the Buckeyes and the Wolverines, and a lot of heavy hearts going into that game with the long
stadiums, and everybody thought, oh, it's going to be a tough year for Michigan. And then look what they've done ever since they fought out that opening win against the Commodores.
Yeah, it was 27-7 the final score. Vandy played pretty good up in the Ann Arbor. Ainge will throw it. Hit as he throws, pass sails. And the pressure really caused Ainge to let go of that football a little bit quicker than he probably anticipated. Gatewood got back there in a hurry.
Yeah, they brought pressure from the left side. What they did is they brought Booker from the outside, and then Gatewood came on the inside and stuck him. Again, you see coming from the outside. That's Kevin Joyce, I should say, and then you see Gatewood coming underneath. The back stepped up, he could only pick up one of them.
Second down and goal from the 6. Ainge rolling, firing again. Back across his body. Not much on the pass. He wanted some interference in the end zone. Ainge looks pretty good. He's moving around pretty well.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to tell you, this is such a different Eric Ainge than what we saw last year. You talk about the total new quarterback. He's confident back there. He's rolling well, making good decisions, not throwing the ball into trouble. All those things that David Cutcliffe told us about that they worked in the offseason, they are coming to fruition.
Well, now you got 23 seconds left. Third down and goal from the 6.
Still have a timeout.
They are 2 out of 6 on third down conversions. Ainge working out of the shotgun.
He's trying to read the coverage. You see him pointing.
Hardesty off to his right. Meacham near side. Ainge has time. Back in the end zone. Wide open. Jason Swain. Touchdown Tennessee. How did he get that open?
Vanderbilt decided not to bring coverage, Dave, and Ainge saw it. You saw him point back to the safety. In other words, they weren't going to be, didn't read coverage. And what happened on the play is nobody gets any pressure on him. Look at this. Big man up front. He just waits until he clears. And as you said, Swain is wide open to come across. He also had Brown down here in the bottom corner, I think. I think that was Brown I saw flash in front of me. So he had 2 open receivers on the play.
Tennessee looking like they're going to go for 2. Vanderbilt wants to make sure they got all their ducks in a row, and they'll call a timeout. 19-7 Tennessee.
Let's play some football.
Well, Brooks and Dunn is fresh off winning 4 Country Music Awards. Where Florida sits in the latest AP rankings, they are at number 3, but they trail USC in the BCS standings. Now, Arkansas made perhaps the biggest jump in both the power time.
Darren McFadden made a little bit of difference after that first game that he missed.
McFadden 181 against this Tennessee team on the ground last week. Well, going for 2 are the Vols. Ainge, same formation they had on the touchdown.
Yeah, but they see on this one they're bringing pressure.
Passes in the end zone. Joel Caldwell hit Jason Jackson Swain right as the ball got there. And those two having a few words.
You can see the officials doing a good job of separating, but I really thought that Vanderbilt made a mistake on that last play when they scored, when Tennessee scored. They didn't bring pressure. This right here, they bring pressure. You see, he has to throw quick, and a good defensive play. You hit him just as it got there. Caldwell, 29, came up and stuck him in the back, knocked the ball away. That was a good heads-up defensive play.
So 19-7 with 17 seconds to go before halftime.
You can name 2 or 3 in the SEC right off the bat that are going to jump out at you.
Bobby Johnson wondering why we're talking about something here. A squib kick that bounces around to the 22-yard line. Taken by Myron Lewis out to the 32.
On the return, brought down by number 4, Jonathan Wade.
Our Suzuki Way of Life performer this week is fullback David Yancey. Eat the soil. So when he graduates, no matter what happens on the gridiron, he's going to walk away from Tennessee with a nuclear engineering degree. Pretty good stuff. And pretty good stuff today. An exciting game. Tennessee leads it 19-7 as we have hit halftime here at Vanderbilt Stadium on a gorgeous day between the Vols and the Commodores as Tennessee seeks revenge from last year's 28-24 defeat at the hands of Vanderbilt.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's go check in with Dave Baker. Buzz?
Philip, I think we saw what you already know in the first half, and that's how valuable Eric Ainge is to this
Eric's a great football player. It's unfortunate we didn't have him for a couple weeks, but he's playing his rear off right now, and our guys are playing good around him. It's only a half, but we gotta play better even in the second half.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. That's Philip Fulmer. His team goes to the locker room with a 19-7 lead over the Vanderbilt Commodores. You know so well what we were talking to Philip Fulmer about. That's how much of a difference Eric Ainge makes for this Tennessee offense. He's been out with that high ankle sprain. He's come out today. Philip Fulmer and his offensive coordinator David Cutcliffe said that Ainge had taken every snap during practice this week, and boy, he looks as sharp as ever today. 16 of 21 through the air. He's got two touchdowns rather, no interceptions. He's showing a mobility. He's showing the ability to finish, and look at that play right there. That shows he's healthy and got a lot of confidence, and he's got a lot of confidence in all these receivers, including guys like Robert Meacham. 2 touchdown passes today, and Tennessee leads it by a count of 19-7. All right, time now for our Ruby Tuesday play of the week. As South Carolina place kicker Ryan Suckup lined up for a 48-yard field goal that would win the game for the Gamecocks. It seemed all but certain that Florida's national title hopes were about to disappear, but Gators defensive end Jarvis Moss wasn't. And 8 tackles. Battle of the Bands taking place here in Nashville today, and a battle between these two teams in the Volunteer State. Right now, it's the Vols on top of the Commodores, 19-7.
The Games has accumulated more than 250 community service hours while at UT. He's a frequent visitor to schools in the Knoxville area, encouraging kids to stay in school, and has assisted in raising money for local children's hospitals. Lincoln Financial Sports is proud to salute James Wilhoit for being named a recipient of the SEC Community Service Award.
Weeks, the SEC championship game will be.
Then they drove down and found George Smith down there for that touchdown. So they were back in the football game. But then all of a sudden, as you said, Tennessee took over with that speed. Coker on that run, and that was a big one. Then when he found Swain across the back of the end zone, then he just started mounting up the score. So it was the highlights really are in favor of Tennessee, as is the score, Dave.
You look at those total yards.
You see those stats, and he's shown that ankle's not bothering him at all. And really, for the Commodores, they only had 1 possession in the red zone. They need more opportunities to get in that red zone.
Well, Tennessee out in front, trying to redeem themselves after losing in Knoxville to this Vanderbilt team a year ago. Gorgeous day on the campus of Vanderbilt University, and moments ago Dave Baker had a chance to catch up with Bobby Johnson.
Bobby, you put together that one great drive on offense, but Haynes just made some big plays against it.
He really has. He made a lot of first downs. We didn't do a very good job on first down, and that makes it tough on the defense after that. They got all kind of options, and they've got a good plan. They're working it.
All right, thanks, Bobby. We appreciate it. Bobby Johnson and his Commodores trailing 19-7, Dave, but they won the opening toss. They deferred, so they'll get the football to start the third quarter.
All right, thank you, Buzz. Moments away from the second half, but let's take a look at our Nissan Coaches Corner first.
Well, Dave, on this Coker run, couple really good things on here. Wide receivers always get the credit for catching the ball. Watch these two wide receivers right out here. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to drive off the ball, and if we can freeze it right in here, right there, this is going to be a great block here. There's another block, and all Coker has to do is beat one guy to the outside. And look at that speed. He turns it on there. You see those blocks downfield? When you get in there on Monday, wide receivers will always say, hey, did you see that block? And that's a look at our Nissan Coaches Corner.
So as Dave Baker said moments ago, Vanderbilt will return the kickoff. Sean Walker back to return it. Wilhoit with a laser that nearly went through the uprights. Wow, that was a Tiger Woods stinger, 2-iron stinger.
Well, you realize that kick was what? That was 75 yards from the goalpost. It almost went through.
You look at Vanderbilt's possessions. The 92-yard touchdown drive is the only one of substance. Other than that, it's been punt, punt, punt. So here comes Nixon, who has been hit pretty hard today by the guys in the white jerseys. See what he has in store here in the second half. Nixon was 6 out of 10, throwing the football for 90 yards in that first half. Walker in motion. It's Bennett on the outside, breaks a tackle, but gets nothing as he falls down. Jonathan Wade hit him. And Bennett with his third catch, but not a lot to show for it.
Boy, they watch Jonathan Wade's closing speed. When you're a corner, that's the tough position out there. You give a cushion. He's got the cushion. Now he sees him. Look how quickly he plants, avoids a block, and comes in and makes the tackle. That's the way you play corner. Closing speed, get up there, don't miss a tackle.
See Bennett throw that football down, a little bit perturbed the way things have gone for him today. Nixon will throw. Pass is dropped by George Smith. Would have been a tough catch, but he got his fingers on it. And that'll bring up a third down and about 14.
You know, we talked about the mechanics of Eric Ainge. This is just not good mechanics. Look at that, throwing off his back foot. His feet actually almost switch. He just relies on the strength of that arm. I know he's just a sophomore, Nixon is, but he's got a lot to learn in mechanics of throwing the football. He gets results, but if you got an Earl Bennett, anybody can get results. He just looks awkward, Dave. That may be a free 5 yards.
Turk McBride was in that Vandy backfield. We'll see if he was drawn off or just got a little bit of a head start.
Yeah, a lot of times those centers will bob their head, and if you're a defensive lineman, you go on movement. But Turk McBride is standing right over top of the center. He's supposed to see that. Ball didn't move.
Number 40 on the defense. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. The result of the penalty is a first down.
So for Tennessee, that is just their second penalty today.
Now they go zero in the backfield, so there's nobody to run the ball except Nixon himself.
Pressure comes, trying to set it up for Walker, but did he catch it? Incomplete pass. It was Earl Bennett who says he had it.
Oh, I thought he did. I thought he got his hands underneath it. He popped out, but it popped up in the air. Now this is just a floater. Watch the rush on this. I mean, you've got 5 guys coming down your throat. You're throwing off the back foot. Now watch the hands get underneath it. He rolls over. Again, look at this rush.
It looks like a screenplay, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Well, they didn't dispute it.
Upson with the punt. Hefney will fall down at the 40-yard line. A flag down back at the 36-yard line. We'll wait on that decision. So a minute and 25 seconds was all that opening drive lasted for Vanderbilt, and it was 3 and out, and they had to punt it away.
Boy, that's not what you want when you come out in that second half. 3 and out, then you give Tennessee a short field at almost 40-yard line.
Number 20 on the receiving team. That's post-scrimmage kick enforcement. It'll be 5 yards from the end of the kick.
Well, during the first half, we asked you this all-tell trivia challenge. Can you name the last time Vanderbilt beat Tennessee in Nashville? Well, this is the 101st meeting, or 100th, depending on who you ask. But it was back in 1982, and Vanderbilt won 28-21. Back to that rivalry thing, they say that Vandy says it's 100th anniversary of this series. Tennessee says 101st. Kevin Joyce on the stop of Jason Swain. That'll be a pickup of, we'll give him 8.
When you're just seeing good decisions by Eric Ainge, he is just, he's a marvel. And look at those possessions and look at the results. 5 scoring drives. That's ball control when you can do that, Jay.
LaMarcus Coker will pick up the first down around midfield.
Well, you know, one of the players that Vandy has really counted on this year is Jonathan Goff, the junior, number 47. Slide to the ball. You can't break out. He just keeps on getting caught. He held on to him, and that's a good tackle. But so many times we see Jonathan Goff go across the face. You have to play across the face of a running back as that middle linebacker. It just seems like he's getting caught up in a little bit of traffic and coming in late.
Little play action to Coker. Ainge will fire. Wide open. It's just tied in. He's got plenty of running room. Cobb to the 10. And he is stuck at the 7. And it'll be first and goal for the Volunteers.
Boy, they got a good blood. They got a good matchup on this play. And what they did is they had the tight end come off the line and got a great matchup. That's caught him coming off the outside. You can see his coverage trying to come up with him. Man-on-man coverage. What you got, Buzz?
Hey, Dave, the lane was opened up because Jason Swain was in one-on-one coverage with Joel Caldwell, the cornerback, and he never turned around and saw the football. Swain just kept running him downfield.
Well, that's that man-to-man coverage, Buzz.
Hand off Coker. He's dropped at the 4-yard line by Theo Horrocks. Caught him a guy, though, that has really come on lately. He came into the game with 6 catches in the last 3 games. And that has added a couple here today. See the name Theo Horrocks. Theo, junior out of Fayetteville, Tennessee, will be back around next year. This year would love to force a 5th right now.
Oh, would he ever? Vandy really needs to stop right now. They came out, their offense went 3 and out. They gave him a short field, and Eric Ainge is just taking advantage of him.
Coker down to the 2. Met first by Goff, then followed up by Fontaine Hunter. 3rd down and goal from the 2. Take a look at the Tennessee offense inside the red zone. They are at a 90.9% clip inside the red zone in terms of scoring. That is tops in the Southeastern Conference. They've scored 22 touchdowns, 11 runs, 11 by way of the pass. That red zone powered by Honda generators, if I didn't say it already. 3rd and goal. Nothing doing. The men in black. Hoyt, who's hit from 43. He's hit from 27. He's getting closer and closer. This one will be from 22 off that right hash again. Sounded like somebody might have gotten a little piece of that football, but it splits the uprights. James Wilhoit, the senior, over 300 career points, has split the uprights 3 times today here on the road in Nashville. The Vols lead at 22-7.
Tonight, try our new fresh jumbo lump crab cake. Then
half now, and then it's the championship game in Atlanta. Who will meet Florida? Arkansas can wrap it up today. And that will sail through the end zone. Dave, Earl Bennett has been a one-man wrecking crew for the most part of the last 2 seasons, but today Tennessee's done a good job.
Absolutely. He's been frustrated. Only 3 catches, Dave, 16 yards, but it's been frustrating. They've kept him in the backfield the whole time. Even when they tried to run that slip screen out there, he got tackled for a 4-yard loss. Nothing near like he had the last 3 games.
Last 3 games, he has produced some awesome numbers. 33 catches for 561 yards. Last week, he was 2 yards shy of a school record. He had 220 yards receiving on 11 catches. He had 13 catches against Florida. And it's just amazing because everybody knows he's getting the ball. Everybody knows it, but nobody's been able to stop him with the exception of Tennessee here today. But we've got a long way to go.
Yeah, but they've got a good scheme.
Out of the shotgun. And Bennett just dropped it.
Wow, you don't see that very often.
I think that's the 2nd pass he's dropped this year. When we were talking to Ted Kane about it, you see last year's last 4 games. I mean, 49 catches. That's a season for many, for most.
Yeah.
And 9 touchdowns. And as we just showed you, 33 catches coming into this one in the last 3 games. Nixon breaks a couple of tackles out to the 25-yard line.
Pass. 10 yards from the previous spot. An automatic first down.
So they ruled the pass was uncatchable, so the pass interference is waved off, but nonetheless, the hold will stand.
Look at all this running. Chris Nixon's running for his life, then he floats it out there, and you're right, that ball was uncatchable. It's way out of bounds.
Nonetheless, it'll get Vanderbilt a big first down with an even 9 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Boy, Vanderbilt has just abandoned the running game, other than Nixon.
Nixon pass batted, but still caught by Walker. He's got room to the 40, driving down to the 45 to the 46.
Needs to get another long drive.
Nixon sees a little seam to midfield and is tripped up. There, that'll be a gain of about 5 on the play. You know, you keep talking about rushing a little bit, but a lot of it has to do today with the fact that Tennessee has only had 4 100-yard rushers in the last 34 games. Only 4 guys. You got to go back. Deshaun Wynn has one of those. Cadillac Williams at Auburn had one of those. Darren McFadden had one last week, 181 yards. And the other guy was Dominic Dorsey of UNLV. So in 34 games, only 4 rushers have gone over 100 yards against this Vol defense. So it's been tough.
Yeah, but you have to have a running game just to keep them honest.
There's a little option. That works well. Nixon gets blown up back at the 44-yard line. Their sophomore and junior years, they went more to a passing game a year ago. We used to see that play quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Whistles. Probably not a bad thing to let Chris Nixon. So first down and 15. Straight handoff. Jared Hawkins, young man, averaging about 8 yards per carry. Only got about 2, maybe 2 on that carry. Let's check in with Dave Baker on
balls. He's out, bad left knee. He will not return. Rico McCoy going at the weak side linebacker.
Well, this is 12 straight weeks now for Vanderbilt. They are starting to amass some serious bruises. Passes high over the head of Earl Bennett.
Well, I appreciate Buzz clearing that up. That was Veerling number 60 and not Mac Pyle, because Mac Pyle's parent.
3rd down and 14. 5 receivers set. Let's find Earl Bennett. He's on the near side of the slot, wearing number 10. Nixon hit as he throws. They lofted up far side out of the reach of George Smith. And it's the pressure that's causing some problems. And now Chris Nixon having a little chit-chat with Turk McBride.
He should have a talk with Turk McBride. Turk McBride's been in the backfield about all game long. He's seen number 90 in his face. But I didn't like that play selection. I thought maybe that Nixon should have just come underneath, tried to pick up the first down. It's 4th down and only about 4 yards. Well, actually 14.
Jonathan Heffney stands at the 10 to return this punt. He'll call for a fair catch at the 12. So Tennessee with backed up in terms of field position for one of the few times today. We'll come back with 5. Conference and Lincoln Financial Sports is prohibited. First down at 10H, handoff left side. DeMarcus Coker has some running room and much more. Coker to the 40, to the 30. Will anybody catch him? I don't think so. Touchdown, Tennessee. 87 yards.
Explosion. Explosion.
Prohibited. First down at 10-8. Handoff left side. DeMarcus Coker has some running room and much more. Coker to the 40, to the 30. Will anybody catch him? I don't think so. Touchdown, Tennessee. 87 yards.
Explosion. Explosion. 2 blocks on the line. Boom, he's gone right there. He's gone. He's running man for man, and they're just not going to catch him. Look at that speed. Second touchdown today. And Coker makes it look easy, but what an explosion. We talked about him not dancing in the line, just exploding through the hole.
Point after is up and good. Philip Fulmer said he would have loved to have played the last 2 weeks with a healthy arsenal of players. One of those a little slow was LaMarcus Coker, but he looks good today. Back after a word from your local stations.
Weeknights on the CW Chattanooga, you're free to be funny. At 5:30.
Balls have jumped out now by a count of 29-7 back here at Vanderbilt Stadium. And Dave Neal, one of the things that David Cutcliffe talked about was the fact that when he got there as offensive coordinator, he believes in a high-intensity practice. He said these guys needed to drop weight, not only receivers. He talked about Robert Meacham, but offensive linemen. And when you talk about high-intensity practice, he said in one particular period, they can get about 79 reps in a 10-minute period, and it's shown right now.
Well, Sean Walker takes it out to the 27. And I don't like the fact that you said, and Dave Neal, David Cutcliffe had his players lose weight. I don't like that, the fact that you brought that up right out of the gate. Is that a hint? It's the holiday season. It's the holiday season.
Hold on. Don't be throwing me under the bus like that. Listen, pal, I'm in that group too.
Just, talking to David Cutcliffe, though, Buzz, today, right before the game, and just seeing the smile on his face was, a treat, because we've known him for a long time, and I think a lot has to do with the fact that he's healthy.
Well, another thing to add to that is look at the list of quarterbacks that he's developed. Andy Kelly, Heath Schuler, Peyton Manning, T. Martin, Eli Manning. And now Eric Ames.
Antoine Stewart hits Kason Jackson Garrison, knocks him out of bounds. Today's First and 10 line is brought to you by Titan Technology Partners. Go to s2v.com to learn more about how Titan makes IT right. Tennessee's defense has given up some yards this year. They're 7th in the league at 325 yards allowed. Today, Dave, they look like they've got that speed and that hop back.
Absolutely. I think they're playing really solid. In talking with John Chavis about his losses, we talked about, losses of players. He said the one that Icky Johnson was the big one that he lost in the secondary.
Nixon. I don't know if somebody is spying Nixon all day, but Chris Nixon has not had a single moment to breathe.
Well, I think they are spying him. What John Chavis told us is we wanted a controlled rush. That's a controlled rush. See, everybody's got lanes, and you make him change direction. He can't just dart through. And John Chavis said we have a scheme. He said you don't want to spy, but we want to rush in a controlled rush. And that's what you're seeing. They talk about lanes, stay in your lane. And boy, Tennessee has done that very well, because every time Nixon has gotten to the line, he's had to change direction.
Here's Bennett. And much like his quarterback Nixon, Earl Bennett has had nowhere to go. Ryan Carl, the junior out of Franklin, Tennessee, makes the big hit on Earl Bennett.
And it's interesting the scheme that John Chavis has done with Earl Bennett. He's got zone coverage. You see everybody dropping back into his zone, but he's got man on Earl Bennett. There's man-to-man coverage on that one. It was Ryan Carl, number 39. He's sliding to him, playing a man, but they're playing zone on the outside edges.
Hefney back again to return the ups and punt. He should have some room to return it, although he's looking right into the sun. End over end wobbly kick that will hit and bounce sideways at the 37-yard line with 2:49 to go in the third quarter. Our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game, you look at the most receiving yards in a game this year, and Earl Bennett has 3 of the top 6. Robert Meacham sits at number 5. Bennett 220 last week against Kentucky, but Marcus Monk had a 192-yard game along with Tony Burks. And there is Robert Meacham today. Through the air, Robert Meacham has had a pretty good afternoon with 6 grabs, 78 yards. All those came in the first half. Jason Swain has 6 catches for 74 yards. Pass caught near side. And Chris Brown laid the boom on Josh Allen.
Wow. Brown doesn't look like he's a 240, 50-pound player, but I'll tell you one thing. He put his head down and just bowled over him. Should say about 230 pounds maybe, but watch this. Put that head down, just drive over top of him, stretch for that first down. That's a good play. Boy, you heard that hit, huh, Dave?
Wow. I can hear it up here, a quarter mile away. To the 40. Run out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That'll be a 22-yard pickup.
All of a sudden you're seeing them, they're wearing them down at the point of attack. They've got a good stop right there, point of attack. But the backside containment just doesn't hold it. And Hardesty finds that outside edge. Again, you want to see what it's like to play? This is it.
Imagine having that pin run at you. I'm running the other way. A loss of a 2 on the play. Getting close to a minute to play here in the third quarter. That has been owned by the Big Orange.
Boy, Ainge making great decisions, using that running game now, wearing them down a little bit. Got to call timeout. Clock was down to 0.
Ainge 19 out of 24 for 240 yards. Of course, Philip Fulmer and his club heading to a bowl game, but a couple of more wins will get him to a more desirable location. And as you look at the SEC bowl teams that are eligible right now, there could be a little bit of a quandary coming up as South Carolina plays Middle Tennessee today. If they win that game, they will be 6-5. So that would make them bowl eligible. So here is the scenario: is the SEC is locked into 8 bowls. And with 9 bowl teams, somebody might be left out of the mix. And if South Carolina can win today, you know, that's pretty impressive stuff. Yeah.
That's a great conference, I can tell you that. It's quite a compliment to this conference.
And it looks as though, as we look at the scoreboard, that South Carolina will be bowl eligible, and Arkansas and Mississippi State scoreless. The Hogs win that, they head to Atlanta representing the West. They've won 9 in a row, looking for number 10 today. But Mississippi State has played much better down the stretch. Ainge pass is caught inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. That'll be Brad Cottom, the tight end. Cottom has 3 or 4 catches today. Let me get the update on Cottom. That'll be his 3rd catch today for 55 yards.
You know, we're watching Eric Ainge. I know we've talked a lot about him and David Cutcliffe, but I'm seeing the Eric Ainge that we thought we would see. I asked David Cutcliffe, I said, what did you see that you didn't like? He said, man, his footwork was terrible. His accuracy wasn't there. He was not good in the pocket. He didn't move around. Well, they made some tremendous changes with that young man because you have a confident quarterback sitting back there just picking apart a defense.
Flag comes down in the middle of that Tennessee line. Pass is caught by Brett Smith, and he is slow to get up. That was a big hit. Looks like he's holding that right arm, right shoulder. Jonathan Goff and Joel Caldwell both hit Smith.
Watch this hit. You want to be a receiver in the SEC?
Ooh. Goff goes up high. Caldwell hits him down low.
Well, Phil takes off that headset. You can hear him up here when he's yelling.
What a tough season he had to endure last year. And some of the heat that he took as a head coach. And you look at the numbers. I mean, heck, he is the second winningest coach in the NCAA among coaches that have been around for 10 years or more. Hard to argue that when you win 77% of your games. 3 quarters are in the books here in Nashville. And Tennessee leads it 29-7. The final 15 minutes on the way. Vanderbilt Stadium on a gorgeous fall afternoon. This is a great time for football, isn't it? Unbelievable.
This is my favorite time of the year. Big guys don't sweat.
3rd down and 16. There's a lot of jokes in there somewhere, but I'm going to let him go. Ainge under pressure, throws hands. Vanderbilt has it at the 43-yard line. Curtis Gatewood, who's having a great year, flew around the end and knocked it right out of Ainge's hand. Off 10 seconds. You look at our Lincoln Financial Sports stats through 3 quarters, and 420 yards of offense for the Big Orange, and most of that has been because Eric Ainge has been on fire, and that's allowed the running game of LaMarcus Coker and really Montario Hardesty to be effective.
Well, I've really been surprised at Vanderbilt just abandoning the run game. This is strictly passing.
Intended for Marlon White, incomplete. Tennessee's defense this year, they've picked off 14 passes this year. Only 9 interceptions last year from that Tennessee secondary.
Well, John Chavis told us that his game plan was to rush with controlled lanes. We talked a lot about that. Know where Bennett was every time and make it difficult for them to pick up a first down. They've done everything. Control Chris Nixon, they've done it. So this defense has played really, really well. They've got a good pass rush with just 4 runners.
Nixon absolutely nowhere to go. Trying to make something out of nothing and just gets out of bounds. A flag is down on the far side of the field. But that's just an example of, if you just joined us, that's what's going on pretty much all day for Chris Nixon.
When we run this play back, Dave, you'll see how many times Nixon has to change direction.
You're talking about Chris Nixon, who had 517 total yards versus Kentucky.
He's had Turk McBride in his face. He's gone down so many times. Decisions have been, he's not found wideouts too wide open, but he's had Turk McBride and company in his face. Bennett bailed him out a little bit, but look at the number of times he has to change direction. It's not like he's run up there. See again, look at that dance back and forth. Now the white shirts recover and Tennessee just runs him out of bounds. So not a real productive day for Chris Nixon.
He threw last week for 446 yards, but today Chris Nixon has thrown for a grand total of 97. He's now 10 out of 20 on the afternoon. 517 yards last week, and today it has been a long, long afternoon.
But you have to credit Tennessee's defensive scheme. They've not allowed him. He's not broken into the secondary, just stepped up through the line. Philip Fulmer and company came in here, and as we've talked about, controlling that defense. Now they're down using a 33-man lineman, and they've been getting quite a rush on him, even with three-man rush.
There's another pass off the back foot because of pressure. It's picked off by Jonathan Hefney to the 20. Hefney spins inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. And for Hefney, that is his 5th interception of the year, which leads the team.
Well, an interesting play. What they did is they did 30 defense, 3 down linemen, and brought a linebacker, and they brought Kemp on it. He's actually the cornerback, number 23. And he makes Nixon throw early, and that's a terrible pass. That had nothing on it. It's thrown off the back foot. You can't throw it up for grabs because players like Hefney and that can react and close so quickly to the ball. Watch this. Doesn't step forward. See how he's throwing backwards? It's off that back foot, and Hefney will make you pay for it.
junior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. Sets up a Tennessee touchdown in the corner of the end zone. Robert Meacham. 17 yards. He's got 10 touchdown grabs on the year now.
Well, you throw it high to the corner of the end zone. Look at the trajectory of the ball. Meacham looking back for the ball. Defender just runs past it. Josh Allen, number 14. He just ran on by the ball. But Meacham, what a year. You've talked a lot about him today. He hasn't let you down.
Eric Ainge with a couple of touchdown passes today. Will Hoyt's point after is up, and it is good. Tennessee now 36 points on the board. Sean Walker will take this kick at the 10-yard line. He's got the sideline, and he's got some running room. And knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line, but a nice return for Sean Walker, 37 yards. But the story today has been Eric Ainge, and the other part of the story is the receiver Robert Meacham.
Well, we talked about him being one of the two best wide receivers, not in the SEC, but in the nation, and he has not disappointed. Little curl pattern there. He's been everything that you want, Dave. That fade to the outside, that was just a marvelous catch. 7 catches, 95 yards, a touchdown, and he's moving up that ladder.
He needs 22 yards to take over as the single season yardage leader in Tennessee history. Pass is picked off. Jonathan Wade. He will take it to the end zone, but they will spot it back at the 12-yard line. Wade thinks it's a touchdown, but they'll have to bring it back to the 12. His 4th interception of the year. A 38-yard return.
This is scoring quick. Nixon just floats this ball out there. Really doesn't, and the receiver doesn't even come close to it. That's Earl Bennett. It looked like it was thrown to Wade and not to Bennett.
Ooh, I don't know if he stepped out of bounds.
I don't know either. I think you're right. That was close. I think I'd have given him the touchdown. Let's see if he steps out.
So Vanderbilt takes a timeout.
Yeah, I think maybe he did from that angle, Dave. Looks like it from there.
Well, Vanderbilt takes the timeout. Tennessee up big.
Hey, guys.
Jonathan Crompton back in the game at quarterback. Will probably go the rest of the way. Crompton completing 50% of his passes on the year. He will hand it off to Arian Foster. Arian gets, well, might have lost a yard. Theo Horrocks with his 3rd stop today. Must be nice to come in as the back up to Eric Ainge and have a short field like this to work with. But Ainge had a marvelous afternoon if it is a day for Ainge. He finishes up 21 of 26 for 266 yards and 2 touchdown passes.
Trying to make Tennessee into a passing team.
Crompton passes through the fingertips and nearly picked off. Looking for Jeff Cottom, the freshman out of Germantown, the younger brother of Brad Cottom. Look at Ainge's numbers today. That is right on line with what he has done all year. He's completed 66% of his passes this season. He will now go to 16-5 as a starter, averaging about 250 yards per game through the air, which is the 2nd best number in the SEC. And boy, what a difference a year makes. That's all I can say about that.
You said a mouthful with that statement. It's just amazing.
3rd and 11 now. Crompton stands in there. He's going to be flushed out. A ton of flags come out as Crompton gets it inside the 5. But it looks like Stephen Jones with a big-time hold on Broderick Stewart. Will
driving him, Coach. No, that's holding.
6'4", 305 pounds. That'll back up Tennessee. to the 25. Crompton. Pressure comes. He spins and throws. Incomplete. Looking for Corey Anderson, the fullback. And that'll bring up a 4th down.
Boy, and how about the pressure there from Gatewood, number 48, comes all the way around the outside. On the weak side left of your screen. Watch 48 come in here. Now, I mean, he gets a beat on the quarterback. He smacks him. You got to throw quick. Boy, that was right. Oh, man, that was right there. Look at this. You want to see somebody open? Look right there. Briscoe, number 81. He's going, man, didn't have time to see me.
Will Hoyt's hit from 43, 27, and 22 today. This will be from 41 once again from that right hash mark, and he hits it well. That's the best one he's hit all day. Flushed it right through the pipes. James Will Hoyt has hit 4 field goals today, 16 on the year. In all Tennessee, a couple of early field goals by the Vols. Then it was a touchdown by Vanderbilt. They led 7-6, and that was it for Bobby Johnson's crew. But Tennessee looking every bit like a top 25 team this afternoon. Another good kickoff by Will Hoyt. This Vanderbilt team has struggled today, but they have had some moments today. And, you know, I tip my cap to that man, Bobby Johnson, because it's an uphill battle to get this program to a level to compete year in and year out in the Southeastern Conference. We all know it, but he is certainly on the right path. I told you earlier, this club has lost 4 games by 7 points or less this year. They easily could have come into this game with 7 wins. They are so close as Mackenzie Adams checks in at quarterback. Mackenzie, the redshirt freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That Vandy is right there. They're right on the edge. They're close. Everybody's talking about the strides that they have made.
Jared Hawkins with the carry. You know, we mentioned defensively they ran at times today in the past couple of weeks as many as 6 freshmen on the field defensively. And
Coach, how do you measure that? Is that you've got to see it on the field, and he's right. He wants competitors, people that want to compete, people that want to win.
Here's Jared Hawkins. He picks up the first down to the
seasons now for the first time since 93 and 94, and that shows you just how far down it was and the way Bobby Johnson has steadily gone about trying to rebuild this thing back up. I was talking to him on the field before the game, and he was talking about recruiting and said they're just about done for this year. And, you know, that is a far cry from years past when they're trying to get guys, you know, that they've done the job. He's doing it the right way. He said he'd like to have more results on the scoreboard in terms of W's, but I think it's pretty apparent that they're doing what they ought to be doing.
Well, they only have 14 scholarships to offer up this year, Buzz. That means they've got a lot of players coming back. You only get 85 scholarships on a team, and they're going to enter the year, finish this year, and have 71 scholarship players coming back. Now that, to me, says something about where they're going, and they're so close. Gaston Miller
fell back in maybe some bad habits, but he has a tremendous future. We saw the evidence of that last week with his stats.
Here's Adams under pressure. He'll tuck it up and run it. Try to get that first down.
Mackenzie Adams on the carry. Run out of bounds by number 5.
Rico McCoy and Jonathan Wade run him out of bounds. We'll give it a gain of 5 on the play. Hefney back to return the kick at the 22. Bobbles it after he called for a fair catch. Well, coming up next Saturday, it's our final game of the year as Kentucky heads down I-75 to take on Tennessee. Andre Woodson has put together a great season as the Wildcats quarterback. He has done some marvelous things this season. Robert Meacham, we've seen him here today have a great game. We'll see what he can do. That'll be next Saturday. It's a border war coming up. 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. Log on to LFsports.com and click on the Regions Bank Road Trip Planner for the quickest routes and all the information you need traveling around the SEC. Crompton still working under center, going deep. Crowd wants a flag, and there is not one. Jared Fagan covering Brett Smith. Fagan, by the way, the young man who intercepted the pass
Now this is right in front of a huge area of orange, and that's why you heard all the boos. Little pushing going back and forth in there. I don't know that that was kind of questionable. A little bit more pushing than what you'd normally see from a cornerback. I'm trying to be politically correct on that play.
Oh, no need to be that way here with me.
I hear you, bud. Just tell it like it is. There's too much pushing on that last play.
There you go. Brent Trice with the tackle, loss of 1 this year. Langford, a big-time SEC safety. He just needs to get healthy in the offseason. Crompton over the middle through the hands of the youngster Jeff Cottom. Cottom, the Tennessee Player of the Year. And he finished up his high school career in Germantown, Tennessee. How about he and his brother? Both of them 6'8".
I know. Can you imagine trying to feed them? Both of them 6'8".
No.
255, 260. I mean, we'll talk about. There was a serious.
Imagine if they got in a fight. Who's going to break it up? You know, my brother and I, we had to fight it, take a broom, and we're done.
Your mom could control you guys.
So Alex Washington on the punt return to midfield.
37-yard play, 7-yard return.
Well, it has been all fourth quarter has been Tennessee. This long touchdown run by Coker, and I mean, he just exploded through there. Nobody could catch him. 87 yards on that run. Tremendous. That was his second touchdown. Then this one to the back of the end zone. That's to Meacham. Then the interception by Wade. Tennessee, it's been all highlights. And how about Will Hoyt? What a day he has had. 4 field goals, 43, 27, 22, and 41 yards, Dave.
Here's Hawkins. Hawkins, the redshirt freshman out of Spring, Texas. Getting some work today. Look at our Hummer scoreboard, and there's South Carolina.
There's bowl-eligible Carolina.
28-27 now in the third quarter, and Arkansas in the second, 14-7 over Mississippi State. Oklahoma 36, Baylor 10. That's a final score. Boston College over Maryland. Wake Forest trying to win one of the spots in the ACC title game. They'll face Georgia Tech if they can knock off Maryland next Saturday. That's pretty much what it boils down to in a nutshell in the ACC. By the way, speaking of Wake Forest, Vanderbilt and Wake Forest have agreed to a lengthy contract. They will finish the season next year. Vandy will play Tennessee on this same weekend, but then after Thanksgiving, they will finish up the year with Wake Forest. It'll be a home-and-home series for the next 4 years, I believe, maybe a little bit longer. Interesting end-of-the-year finale. Both these teams are getting better, so that'll actually have a game that could have an impact on a lot of things.
Well, Wake is one of those teams with one loss, Dave.
Wake Forest 9-1, ranked number 14 in America are the Demon Deacons. You see Florida at number 3, but they flip-flopped in the BCS with USC. Here are our undefeated teams, of course, in just a little bit, in about 15-20 minutes. Ohio State and Michigan, somebody will go down in that one. Rutgers has West Virginia coming up a little bit later, as well as Cincinnati and Syracuse. Boise State, Utah State, and Nevada are their 2 remaining games. So, you know, I think eventually there's a chance we'll have just 2 undefeateds, one of those being perhaps Boise State, and I just don't think that's going to work for them.
No.
Rutgers has that chance, but you know.
Well, they still have to play West Virginia. And
they have a chance to go undefeated, but I just don't know that they're going to have enough juice to get to that BCS title game. So that brings in a 1-loss team. And I think whoever wins, if Arkansas can run the table or Florida runs the table, I'm telling you, how do you not get those guys an opportunity? Here's Hawkins. He's inside the 30 to the 25. That'll be a first down on the option.
Well, Florida's been strong all year, but how about Arkansas? I mean, they came out that first game. They got blown out of the tub. And then all of a sudden they ended up with these 9 victories in a row. This is what it's like to run the football, coming right at you. See if our cameraman can make a tackle. Oh, he backed up.
No, but he hung in there, though. a lot of guys would be dropping the camera.
Dropping the camera and running.
First and 10. 4:54 to go. Adams with a high snap. He'll take it himself to the 20. He's met there by a bunch of white jerseys.
Stop by number 5, Rico McCoy.
Well, James, Will Hoyt can't compete in this, and that's a good thing. But do you think you have what it takes to kick a field goal for $1 million? Bell South is giving one lucky contestant the chance to make a field goal at halftime of the 2006 Chick-fil-A Bowl to win up to $1 million. To register and for complete contest details, log on to BellSouthSports.com. Bell South listening and answering. Will Hoyt 4 out of 4 today, but he can't play in that contest.
No. He doesn't get to kick in that one. I think the odds would go up considerably with his leg.
Here's Richard Kovalchek getting some action. The San Diego, California native.
I have to tell you one comment that Philip Fulmer made in our conversation that I really thought was kind of neat. He turned around and he said, my wife said the most profound thing to me. He said, she turned around and when all that was going on last year, she turned around and she said, you know, you have to go through the valleys to enjoy the peaks. And he said that was the greatest thing she could possibly have said. And he said, boy, do I took it for granted. He said, but not anymore. I really enjoy those great victories.
Kovalchek fires over the middle, pass is caught, but a flag is down. You know, it's like saying you got to have a little rain to appreciate the sunshine.
Exactly. Well, everybody knows what Philip Fulmer did at the end of last season. He turned around, he wrote a letter to all the people, all his fans, and said, look, it was unacceptable. And we're going to do better. And he dedicated himself. He hired David Cutcliffe back. That made a tremendous difference with Eric Ainge. And boy, have they put together a season this year, Dave.
Could have been so much better. Tough early loss to Florida. False start against Vanderbilt. And then the injuries caught up to them. In their last 2 games, they've just been banged
Illegal
up.
formation. Only 6 men on the line on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
They were going to some of those fights with one arm behind their back. But you look at active coaches who have been around for 10 years. Philip Fulmer, number 2 behind Lloyd Carr in winning percentage. Look at the names on that list. And as we see Lloyd Carr there at Michigan, also certainly big loss in the world of college football with Bo Schembechler going down. I know my dad, a Michigan man, went to Michigan. I know it's like somebody hit him in the stomach when he found out yesterday.
Saw my old coach Joe Paterno on that list, and I hear he's coming back today.
Look from behind, flag down, loose football. Tennessee's got it. Down to the 45-yard line.
I was wondering if that was a face mask on that play. That's about the only thing they could call. Strike to the head, maybe? Personal foul?
That could be a blow to the head.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. He was up in the head area.
Walter Fisher picked up the fumble, but it was Rico McCoy who had the big hit.
Yeah. McCoy came from the outside. He was on a blitz straight in, just an outside edge blitz.
I don't think it was anything intentional, but you just have to stay away from the head. I mean, you know that from day one.
Sure.
Stay away from a quarterback's head, really anybody's head.
Yeah, you can't strike him in the head. And that's a good rule, because let me tell you, that's where a lot of injuries happen. And especially when you got your quarterback looking downfield and you know, he doesn't see that backside.
Personal foul. Contact to the head on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Crowd doesn't like it, but
yep, that's the hit to the head.
I don't think it's intentional. He was trying to get the football, but bottom line is he got him on the head.
Yep.
Can't do it.
I took enough shots to the head, I know.
I'm glad you recognized it finally.
Well, I had to find the right moment. Thank you, my friend.
Hawkins dropped for a loss by the man who just got flagged, Rico McCoy. It's Jared Hawkins, loss of 3.
Well, they've made a lot of rule changes since I played. I can tell you that. Nowhere to run on this play for Hawkins. Try to get the outside, and you see that just dart up underneath. Again, good penetration right there. Good solid tackle. I love the way these Tennessee players are taught to tackle. Wrap them up, get your arms around them. You don't see Tennessee missing a lot of tackles. They had about 4 missed tackles today in this entire game.
Second down and 13. We have 2 minutes to go. Here's Hawkins. He's dropped by guess who? Rico McCoy, playing in the spot that has been vacated by Gerard Mayo, who left with a knee injury back in the first half.
Yeah, McCoy, the freshman, just saying, hey, I'm getting a chance. Look how quickly he comes in. Great closing speed. That's one thing that Tennessee has. Every player on Tennessee's team is faster. I mean, they are quick. They worked hard. We talked about the number of plays that they run in practice on offense. They do the same thing on defense. You have got to have speed to play on this Tennessee defense. Can't just be big and be a lineman. Got to be able to run.
Open on the near side, down to the 10-yard line. Alex Washington, a big collision. On 3rd and 14, he picks up 13. So it'll be 4th and 1. Dan Williams knocks him out of bounds.
Yeah, another freshman. You talk about running to the ball. Number 55 is Dan Williams. He's going to run to the ball. He's 6'3", 310. Look at this. This pass is out in the flat, right? Watch 55. Look at him come in there.
That's a big boy. Classic defensive tackle. 1:08 to go in the game. Timeout on the field. Back after this. And 1. Vanderbilt will perhaps. It'll be Patrick Johnson. On the hold, Mackenzie Adams. And the kick is up, and it's good from 21 yards out. And Bobby Johnson, being a class act, lets his senior out of Athens, Alabama, come in and attempt.
Great angle of it. It was on the angles. It wasn't an easy kick. There's another young man that ought to be smiling. Eric Ainge with his play.
So with 1:03 to go, Bobby Johnson will take off the headsets and look to the future. Anxious to see this team. Next. Kick taken by Johnson. He's hit back at the 19-yard line. Look at our Hummer scores. Oklahoma over Baylor. Boston College wins against Maryland. North Carolina picks up a win. How about that? And Virginia beats Miami by 10. And South Carolina beats Middle Tennessee. They are bowl eligible, 6-5. Kentucky hanging on. Georgia Tech throttling Duke. And Florida State up by 4 over Michigan.
Ouch.
And how about that game going on? Arkansas, Mississippi State, 14-14, a win by the Hogs, clinches the Western Division crown. But that'll do it for this contest. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, the Vols get a little redemption from losing last year, 28-24. Philip Fulmer wins his 8th game of the year. Two guys that actually kind of like each other as head coaches. A good friendly rivalry between Philip Fulmer and Bobby Johnson. They shake hands at midfield, but Eric Ainge had a marvelous afternoon. 21-26, 266 yards and 2 touchdowns. We'll be back right after this. Commodores, our Lincoln Financial Group players of the game this afternoon. LaMarcus Coker averaging 12.6 yards per carry, a couple of touchdowns. George Smith, a touchdown and 2 receptions on the game. In recognition of their efforts, Lincoln Financial Group is pleased to provide $2,000 to the scholarship fund of the 12 member institutions of the SEC. Hello, future. Final word from Nashville when we come back. Eric Ainge, a couple of touchdown tosses today. performance by Eric Gaines. Vanderbilt goes to 4-8 to finish the year. Tennessee now 8-3. We will see them next week in Knoxville as they host the Kentucky Wildcats. So for my partners, Dave Rowe and Dave Baker and the rest of our Lincoln Financial Sports crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long, everybody. We'll see you down the road. You have been watching Lincoln Financial Sports exclusive coverage of SEC football.